Hi everyone, Sarah here. Bear with me on my shakiness and camera angle right now. I just wanted to show you guys my layout kind of for doing my watercoloring. I have my paper pad right there and I have pulled my markers. They go in that cubby that's empty right there. I've pulled them all out and kind of organized them by color. And I have my paper pad and a little piece of paper towel, and I do have my chart up here. And there's Jonathan, he just gave me that picture, so I had to stick it up there on my chart. And I have everything just laid out like that for when I'm watercoloring. So I'm going to bring you guys up over here. And try and get this angled properly. Alright, so, excuse me. I have been coloring some Easter images. I've been posting them on my Instagram. I did just cut these out. But for my first tutorial here, I'm just going to use a Greeting Farm bean from the Magical Bean Kit. Just because it's a nice simple stamp to start off with, not too much detail or anything. So like I said, I have my markers out, kind of sorted by color so they're easier to find. And I have my color chart up so that I can see it and see what I'm doing. And then forgot to show you guys here. I did show this in my last video. This is gonna be really hard now because my yeah, can't do that because the way I have my camera set up for coloring. It's Canson mixed media paper. I just buy it in the pad and then I stamp it and color it in here, and then I take it out and cut them out. Okay, so again, this is just a simple little girl image that I'm going to start off with. So I don't know if this is going to work. Tattered Rose is the one to use for skin color. So with this mixed media paper, I find that it sits on top of the paper, it doesn't bleed in, so you have time to move it around. So it is easy enough just to color right on your image. And then I have a water brush that I use. It's kind of a fine tip. And I find it works really well. I do find if I squeeze it too much, I have too much water coming on, but I just dry it off on my paper towel and eventually it'll work. And then the way that I have it set up is that I just leave my little piece of paper towel here so that I can clean it off in between each color. So I'm going to start off with the Tattered Rose, and basically I just color an outline of her face. And I wouldn't worry about too much shading because it is watercolor. You can always add more on top if you'd like, but I color around the edges so that I know that it's going to be darker around the edges. And then I take my water brush and I just pull the color in from the outside. So I don't always touch all of it. Like I don't go right to the edge because I want it to be a little bit darker on the edges. So, and then I wipe it off right here. So as you can see, it is darker on the edges. When it dries, you'll be able to see a little bit more. And actually now that it's drying, I can see that there's a white spot there. So don't be afraid to go over it again with your water brush. It's not a big deal. It's watercolor, right? So then I do it in sections, right? I'll do her face, and then now I will go in and do her hands and her arms and her neck and her stomach. And again, I don't always touch the whole thing. I just kind of pull the color out. And if you think it's too light, you can let it dry. If you go over the edges, you can just rub it out with your water. If you put too much water on it, you can take your paper towel, dab it on top. It does take a lot of the color away because it's not soaking into this paper very much. But That way it won't leak out into other sections. If you want to do more color on top, you wait until that section is dry, and then you would put the other color on. And I'll show you that in a minute when I do the cheeks, because I don't do them right away at the same time. I let it dry, and then I will do it on top. Again, it looks like a little bit of a white spot on her belly there. So you can see this part is pretty much dry. And if you think it's blotchy and you want to just take your water brush, move it around again. Not a big deal. Okay, so for the cheeks, I use spun sugar. And I basically just color some in as much as you want. More is a little bit better when it comes to the cheeks like this, because when you add the water to it, it dilutes it and pushes it away. So you can probably barely see it right now, but when it dries, you will see more of the cheeks. Okay, and then I'm going to use peacock feathers, one of my favorites. Just going to do a little bit on her top. Pull the color out there. And then her little skirt. This is the one thing I did want to point out to you guys. If you can see black, it means that your marker is not closed and it will dry out. So make sure that when you're putting them on, like, you may think it's tight, but if you can still see that little ring of black on there, you need to push it tighter. So again, just push the color around. If you want some shading, don't touch the side of it. And also, the longer you leave the marker on there before actually coloring it, the more the marker will soak into the paper a little bit more, and it'll be darker where you put the marker. Alright, and then hair color. One of my faves for hair color with the distress markers is Rusty Hinge. I know it's supposed to be a brown, but it actually kind of comes out an orangey color. So when I do the hair, I kind of do it the same way as I do my Copic coloring. My darkest color is going to go at the edges. So basically I do the top, I do the bottom, and then I'm going to take my water pen and swirl the two together. I tell you, I'm like loving it because it's super easy. And there is my automatic highlighting. Nice, huh? And then you just go on and do, oops, wrong side of the pen. Do the other section. So I'm gonna do it in little sections here now. To add some water to my brush. It's getting a little dry. And then, hope I'm not moving it too much here for you guys. Obviously, if you're coloring a bigger section, you're going to need more marker. But again, you can always add more. So see how that one is really watery? Because I added more water to my brush, so I want to just running it along the paper towel to kind of pull more of the water out, because it basically stores some water. This is where you put the water, and then when you squeeze it, it stores it in this chamber right here, and that's where it comes out when you're using the brush. So if there's a lot of water in this chamber, you're going to be overwatered for using your brush. All these technical terms. So technical. There we go. And her little poofs. I love these little beans. There we go. So you can see as it dries, it has a little bit more of an auburn color to it. And you can see that her cheeks are all nice and pinky. I'll bring it up closer for you guys. And it is so pretty and so super fast and easy. Like, look at that. Awesome. All right, I will share more with you guys. I'll do some different types of images. If there's anything specific you want to see, let me know. Leave a comment, subscribe if you wish, and have a great day. Thanks. Bye.